over my time. I'm from Vegas originally, and when it was all desert on Charleston, I've just seen a lot of wrecks and different things, and I think that's the safest model. I didn't personally own one, but I plan to in the future, and I just think they're the safest with the roofs, metal doors, the way they're built, and the higher ones. I've been on some desks recently, and anyway, and I just think that's the safest model. Stays lowest to the ground, and a bunch of other reasons, just the cage equipment, so guys don't get injured, because we have wrecked ATVs, like I said, with injuries.
All right. Is there any other quick questions? All right. Again, I would like to reiterate from Commissioner Lambert, thank you, because your area has been a great example, and I'm glad to see that you're working in coordination with Lincoln County, because obviously the more equipment we can put out there that's used for the benefit of more than one county, obviously that's a bigger bang for our dollars. I have one quick question on enforcement. Will you be using this Razor 4 enforcement, enforcement of the OHV sticker, and have you been doing any enforcement up till now?
Yes, we've been fairly lax on as far as the city when they brought all the events here. We didn't want everyone to think we're going to hammer the events that come in town. I'm for, it's a rural area, as Lincoln County's talked about. I think they should be able to ride or drive them in certain areas as long as they follow the rules and cross the right roads and not drive them on our main roads. So the answer to the enforcement is yes, we do enforcement. We're looking for the reckless driver, that kind of thing. We're not looking for guys with really small violations, but the sticker is something we will enforce, absolutely.
Terrific. I have one question, Commissioner Lee.
Just a quick question, Chief Tanner. Are you guys also doing VIN inspections for OHVs?
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. I got an email. I was asking how many we did because it feels like we've done hundreds of them. And we have people come in constantly in the PD. I don't have the number for you. I asked for it and I didn't get it because I guess we don't have a way to keep statistical charts on that because we have a printed paper our officers fill out for anyone that comes in the PD. And I guess we didn't think ahead to keep statistics, but the majority of our residents, and I think you guys know this, a lot of them have OHVs and ATVs. It's amazing how many there are in our city.
That's
but I don't have a number for you.
One other thing too, would you be opposed to, if you are awarded this grant, to do some kind of a press release in your area in reference to OHV enforcement and the equipment that you receive from the OHV Commission?
Absolutely. I do one every 3 to 4 months. Every year I have it on my calendar to basically educate the public where they can ride them, where they can get a map. In fact, we just blew up a large map for this off-road weekend in 2 weeks that we're going to have a booth just to show where you can ride them. And we're having our volunteers man that for 3 days, the Friday, Saturday, and I think half a Sunday, to show where you can ride them in our town and also a map they can take with them. So, yes, we do releases all the time just so they know to be safe on them and where they can ride them.
Thank you.
All righty, seeing no other questions, I thank you, sir, and again, go with our appreciation, and we'll be talking about you tomorrow. All right.
Thank you.
Lincoln County, you're up. Please state name and relevant information for the record.
Yeah, my name is Ken Dixon. I'm with Lincoln County Sheriff's Search and Rescue Division. I assume that everybody has read the equipment justification that we put in. We're looking for 2 ATVs with snow tracks. We have a number of hunting areas in our county. Probably 90% of the hunters that come into our county are from the Las Vegas area. Excuse me. We currently have 1 OHV with demountable snow tracks. And as you all know, the hunting season is something that sometimes you get some really deep snow out there, and a lot of times the existing ATVs can't handle those areas. We need the snow tracks in order to enable ourselves to both patrol in the wintertime. And we need them to come off because obviously we can't enforce any OHV regulations if we don't have the ATVs to do it. Right now, our ATVs are all personal equipment. And it's a great liability to the sheriff's department to have personal vehicles out there. I know the city of Mesquite is facing the same thing. If we put people out there on ATVs and they're using their personal equipment, it opens up a big liability for the county. Lincoln County has about 11,000 square miles of area, and right now we have very limited resources to patrol those. If you look at the equipment justification, we have 270 miles of the only OHV trail in the country through the Lincoln County Land Act that was authorized by Congress.
All righty, do we have any questions? Okay, if you could address some of the oh, I'm sorry, I apologize, Sheriff Lee?
I just was going to disclose that I'm the sheriff of Lincoln County, so I just, I'll pretty much stay out of this one, so.
Okay,
Thank
thanks.
you.
Yeah, you didn't say that, Mr. Dixon. All right,
Yeah, thank you, thank you, Sheriff, for reminding me who you are.
all right, just the same usual questions. You could address, will we be able to, obviously you'd be required to have our logo on there saying it's, the machinery is provided by the commission. Would you be doing enforcement of stickers, and would you be doing VIN checks?
That's one of the reasons that we are looking for the Silver State Trail, because of the notoriety, or I shouldn't say the publicity, not necessarily the notoriety. The publicity it receives through BLM. It is actually a BLM-sponsored event that we got through the Land Act, and it's quite well known and it's well mapped. We have a lot of participation from the OHV community that right now, to be honest with you, and I'm sure the sheriff will agree with me, that we can't do a justification as far as the decal work is concerned. The BLM provides one law enforcement officer for the whole county, through the whole district. If we could get some more equipment out there, then, and I can't speak for the sheriff on dispersing personnel, but, we'll do the best we can with what we can get. One of the reasons that we need some more ATVs out there is that even if we have the one ATV currently, but it's a danger to put one ATV out there with one officer in it. It's dangerous for the officer. It's also, if you have an accident, we're a long ways from anybody out there. It can be 50 miles to the closest habitation. So we want to do this for officer safety as well as enforcement. And we have a lot of major OHV events in the county, both motorcycle and OHV and dune buggy, or I shouldn't say dune buggy, off-road buggy and truck buggy. So we really want to stress the officer safety involved in getting some additional ATVs, as well as the enforcement of the OHV regulations and the decals. Currently, as you all know, I'm sure, only person that can do a VIN number is a sworn officer and or a dealer. So we do our share of those when we can.
All right, terrific. Thank you, Mr. Dixon. I'm seeing no other questions. All right, thank you, sir. I appreciate it. All right, we're going to take about a minute to do a little bit of shuffling. Sheriff Lee is going to handle the next three applicants, which will be the Dunes and Trails BLM, Friends of Nevada Wilderness, and the City of Carson, their Pleasant Hills project. So we're just going to do a little bit of shuffling around, and then we'll be ready to get going. I would like to break for lunch after the next three presentations, which will bring us to about probably 12:30. Kathy, will we have lunch here by then? Okay, terrific. All right, let me just shuffle some things around, and I will be handing over the gavel to Commissioner Lee.
answer your question.
Spreadsheet. It's in the same order. Your spreadsheet gives you a little bit more detail. Right? You're to rock and roll? Call it to order when you're ready, sir. Benefit of the commissioners, everybody has their spreadsheet in their package. That gives a little bit more detail. The way things are broken up is that law enforcement is all in one group, signage is all in one group, and onward. So we tried to group them together to make it easier for you guys. All right, Commissioner Lee, you have now got the chair.
Great. Okay, we will go with the grant on the Dunes and Trails Club for the BLM. Go ahead and introduce yourself, your name, and who you work for, please.
I'm Roger Walkemeyer, president of Dunes and Trails ATV Club, and I live in Las Vegas. The Dunes and Trails ATV Club exists for presenting rides on public lands. We do rides all over the state, and we do a lot down in the Gold Butte area. The project we have proposed is to partner with the Bureau of Land Management and work on the Gold Butte Backcountry Byway and replace the existing Carsonite signs and posts along that area. The actual trail itself is 62 miles long, and the BLM requests markers every mile with additional markers to be placed on certain areas where people get lost, get confused, and can't find their way back. And this is a very notable part of the trail system, as there are a lot of world-renowned scenic areas. People come from everywhere in the world to come and see some of the items that are in that area for photography, scenery, and riding. What we propose in the grant is to purchase equipment and materials to replace all the markers, put all brand new ones in, and the tools to accomplish this. The part of the expenses is fuel and operating. It is a 220-mile round trip from the center of, we just picked the center of Las Vegas and MapQuested it to Gold Butte, and you're looking at a 220-mile round trip to be hauling equipment back and forth. And so we're covering those costs and expenses on those line items. We're hoping to have enough participation to accomplish this in just a couple of weekends with a significant turnout of volunteers. Being that we are a nonprofit without a large budget, we are putting in for also an advance reimbursement to cover the costs of materials that have to be expended, have to be ordered before anything is accomplished. At that point, I have promised myself to be as quick and brief as possible. You can see the maps, I hope you can, see the maps that I have up that show the area of concern. And at this point, I would entertain any questions.
All right, we don't see the maps. Was he going to have them on here, or? Yeah, we can't see the
I
maps
don't-
up here, though we do have some copies that are a little bit hard to read, but we do have copies here attached to your grant, but we cannot see those.
Okay.
Yeah.
I
Maybe we can
wasn't
get those
sure.
for tomorrow, so.
I don't know, can you see this?
No, we can't.
Can you? Oh, okay. So much for
Oh, yeah, we actually,
4
we can see it a little bit better behind us, but,
Oh,
okay.
okay.
Okay, questions, Commissioner Baker?
I have a question regarding your budget in that you're talking about volunteers, and I can understand some money for some administration fees for the nonprofit. But you have over half your budget in salary. Can you explain that?
I have never filled out a grant request before, and so I plugged in the number of hours we were figuring was going to have to be included to accomplish the deed, and I put that in the request. There will have to be some hours paid, but we are hoping to get almost all the hours donated.
So of the $15,000 you're asking in salary, who gets that money?
That would be going to the club, or we would donate it back to,
So can you clarify
donate
to
it back to the commission.
if we funded the material and perhaps the mileage reimbursement, I mean, how much do you actually need administrative to make this happen?
Okay, the budget and miles are, you're looking at about 4,972 for fuel to get things back and forth from Vegas.
It's fair.
And then equipment, the actual hard equipment will be approximately $5,023.60. That will vary. We were not able to get shipping costs exact, so that will be pretty close. And then operating expenses for equipment, fuel, water, traffic cones, things like that. You'd be looking at another $1,601.16.
I really didn't have a concern with any of the other items. I just didn't understand with
okay.
volunteers how you could ask for $15,000 in salary for 2 weekends to administer the volunteers. That seems extremely excessive, in my opinion.
Thank you. Commissioner Jackson, did you have something?
All right, I've got a couple of quick housekeeping questions. How are you set up with the state? Are you a nonprofit or are you a club? How is your organization organized?
Our club is a nonprofit.
It's a,
Yes.
Do you know what category it is? Is it 503?
I don't. It just comes back from the Secretary of State as a nonprofit.
Okay. Do you have are there any paid people in your club? I mean, is there anybody paid?
No,
Nobody's paid?
it's all volunteer.
All volunteer, good, good. Let's see. All right, and what kind of projects has your club done in the past?
We've done things for the BLM as far as GPS monitoring in the Gold Butte area.
Right?
And some work with the Silver State Trails. Dunes and Trails years ago was preeminent party in getting the Silver State Trails organized and constructed, and a great deal of volunteer effort went into the construction of the Silver State Trail and the camping area just above Caliente.
Fantastic. And again, I applaud your efforts in getting the BLM involved, because that's exactly the kind of project that we want to see. We want to see BLM's involvement in this. What part will BLM be playing? I mean, are they going to do some of the organization for you? Are they going to provide vehicles, or are they going to do any sort of active participation?
The participation we had requested and they had provided was that they would come by and supervise, direct, make sure that we were complying with all the tortoise regulations, all the safety and the BLM issues, and make sure that we properly instructed all of the individuals that were going to be taking part in this in the BLM requirements, safety, and their positioning of the markers. They must be positioned and marked in a specific manner. They'd be working with us on that.
All right, terrific. I think this is a terrific project. I really like it. I like the fact that you're working hard with BLM, and I like the fact that you're all volunteers. With that, I have no more questions.
Okay, Commissioner Lambert, did you have something? No, no question. Anybody else have a question? Did we get, Commissioner Baker, did you get your question answered? Would you like to,
I guess
your mic's not on.
if we didn't fund the salary and funded everything else, would this project still go through?
It probably would, yes. We will need a little bit for administration out of that, but we could proceed with a little negotiation on that. We would only need a small percentage.
Thank
We were
you.
hoping to use part of that for a couple of other projects.
Got my question answered.
I said that wrong. I will.
Okay,
If I may interject here just a moment, this is Ken Dixon with the Lincoln County Search and Rescue again. I'm familiar with Dunes and Trails. These guys were a great help to everybody when it concerned the Silver State Trails thing. They spent a lot of time helping map out and lay out that trail. Probably the Silver State Trail would not be in existence if the Dunes and Trails had not participated in this and the administrative end of it. And they were a very viable organization. And thank you.
okay. Commissioner Elmore, did you have something?
This is Commissioner Elmore for the record. Just one quick question on the grant, on your grant application under land manager's review and approval. In parentheses, it says to be attached on grant acceptance, but I see a letter from the BLM field manager along with Mr. Lanera. So I would assume that these are in fact those documents and that you are actively working with the BLM on this.
That is correct. Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I just would like to, Commissioner McKay, for the record, echo Commissioner Baker's comments. I appreciate the work you've done down there. I think if we could fund the signs and the tool and some gas money and that type of stuff, it'd be a great project, just being that we have a finite amount of resources amongst the state.
Perfect, thank you. Any other questions?
Yeah, real quick. Jim
ahead.
Richardson, Commission. Just in my math, you got about 20,000 in workers. Have you solicited any other nonprofits, Boy Scouts, Eagle Projects, that type of thing, to help you with this at all?
We have talked to a few other organizations. We haven't gotten any commitments on it yet. And we are hoping that that's one reason we've put together multiple installation kits, supplies and equipment to do multiple installations at the same time. We're hoping to be able to get three crews going at the same time. But it's going to depend. We've had a lot of conversations, but we have not had commitments.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Commissioners,
Yes.
I'm Elise McAllister with Partners in Conservation. We will commit to helping Dunes and Trails with this project. We can help them find some local Boy Scouts. We can help with administration, whatever it takes.
Perfect. Okay, thank you. Any other questions before, okay? All right, let's move on. Thank you very much for your presentation. Next, we'll have the Friends of Nevada Wilderness, the trail signage project.
Chair?
Yes.
Commissioner Jackson, for the record. I am a active member of the Nevada Friends of Nevada Wilderness. I have no financial interest. I am a blue helmet, which means that they got me to work a lot more than the average. But that's about it. So, so
Thanks.
please bear that in mind. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Go ahead and introduce yourself to us.
All right, I am Renee Aldrich with Friends of Nevada Wilderness, and this is Pat Bruce. We have actually 3 proposals today, and so in the interest of saving time, all 3 proposals.
Chair,
Yes.
Mr. Jackson, we have broken the proposals out into signage and different areas. The reason it was done that way is so that we can group them together. So if you could deal with just the signage issue now, and you'll have 5 minutes to talk to you about the other ones.
Right, and that's what I was just about to explain. We only put together one PowerPoint presentation, though, kind of encompassing the whole theme of our project, which is same throughout the 3 proposals. So we'll focus on signage now, and we'll come back and talk about the OHVs and address those questions later.
If I could, I would extend the offer of partnering with Dunes and Trails on the Gold Butte project. Friends of Nevada Wilderness has been active in Gold Butte and would be happy to assist those folks.
For signs and stickers, we have a proposal of $4,500. The purpose of this project is to help vehicle users enjoy backcountry experience and support riders with good signage, noting places of interest, places to park, and delineate travel. And this is in, for 2014, we're focusing our signage and stickers in the Black Rock NCA in northwestern Nevada with the BLM up there. And to help riders navigate backcountry with less confusion. And then we'll talk about this more later, but to obtain OHVs to make our projects more effective and efficient in both time and expense. Addressing the needs. With decreasing agency budgets, agency personnel is less likely and less able to get out into the field. We have an established nonprofit with a lot of volunteers who come out and help us with these projects. It's a great way to introduce people to the NCA. Inadequate signage can lead to disturbances to natural resources and important wildlife habitat, and can lower the quality of recreational experiences for all users. OHVs can help us get volunteers and materials out to hard-reach backcountry settings, and we can do so in a more timely manner if we get those. Why give your money to Friends of Nevada Wilderness? We have nationally recognized stewardship programs with over 8 years of experience. We maintain strong agency relationships with all 4 federal agencies that manage public land in Nevada. We have the infrastructure in place to make your money work immediately and effectively. We can start this program as soon as the area is dry and it's safe to get out there. We are also able to provide public relations, press releases, and social media to highlight the accomplishments being done with your monies. And we will shine a positive light on how users of all interests are working together to enhance Nevada's backcountry experience. Just so you get an idea, we have done projects like this in the past. Here are some examples of signage we've put up in the NCA in 2013, a directional sign, some High Rock North Gate signs, and just directing people how, which roads lead to where. In addition, points of interest signs, the Upper High Rock Canyon Trail near Stevens Camp. We have partnered with OHV groups in the past, and we're very proud of that. We are very proud of trying to get all the user groups together to come out on our projects. We have partnered with the Hills Angels 4x4 Club to maintain roads and habitat, and this is off the Garson Road in the Carson Ranger District. We've partnered with OHV groups from Las Vegas and Mesquite over 2 national public lands days. and we had a great partnership with the Northern Nevada Outdoor Recreation Association and the Northern Nevada ATV Association.